This is Conversations with Mike Sparks.
Are you concerned with the state of America, your state, your community? Then you're in the right place. State Representative Mike Sparks. He and guests are here to talk about local politics, history, faith, and freedom.
All right, folks, listen to the Conversation with Mike Sparks. I'm your host, Mike Sparks. Got a big show tonight, and usually try to get into a little bit of paranormal, strange activity and strange things around the month of October. And sometimes I try to tie things in. It's difficult. But I happened to go to a ribbon cutting of the day, and I seen Chamber of Commerce, but I noticed it's Buster's Place. And I don't go to that many ribbon cuttings. And the good Lord must have drew me over to Buster's Place. And my very first place I went to, well, the first time I'd ever been there was one of the campaign guys in Nashville, of all places, wanted to go to Buster's Place. So I went up here the other day and got to meet Alex and Terry Jordan. And I was asking him, I said, in fact, I wrote an article. If you go to TennesseeLedger.com, you'll see the story. I just kind of, I don't know, man. Sometimes I think the Lord puts something on my heart, and I'll talk about it, or write about it, or something. And you had a great turnout. And Kelly Beam, man, that's what you call a sweetheart right there.
She's a class person in every way.
She really is. And but you know, I try to. Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna put a teaser out there. I think it's hilarious, and I'm not saying it to be sarcastic, because it is hilarious. And I'm gonna let you tell in just a few minutes, but because I was like, maybe Buster's Place is haunted. You know what I mean? They say WGNS is up here.
I have heard that Buster's Place is haunted.
Oh, have you?
For the record? Oh yeah.
Oh, you have?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, let's put that.
Haunted may be aggressive. Not necessarily haunted, but there are always other spirits in there with us.
Yes, I bet there are. I seen a few in there the other day.
Possessions. Yes, you did.
Up there at the bar.
Oh yeah.
But no. Before we get into that I just think it was a neat story. But I had another guest lined up, and guess who you replaced? The guy had to cancel on me.
President Trump.
No, John Rose, that's running for governor.
Okay.
And I've had Marsh
He's
Blackburn.
had Trump on one night, remember?
Well, man, that was so funny, man. That was so cool. You know how many people fell for that? Like the GOP party, Vice Mayor Steve, my wife.
We fell for it, Mike.
I mean, it was so cool. Yeah.
We kind of did. We just didn't want to admit it.
We need to have him back up.
I thought he was doing a speech right now.
Yeah, this guy, he imitates.
Yeah,
President
he's one
Trump.
you see him on TV all the time. He's the one he imitates.
That's awesome.
He called. Well, he came to the studio. He lives out in Columbia. What's that guy's name again? You remember?
Sean Faresh.
Good for you, really. Faresh, Sean Faresh. Cool. Nice people.
Roger.
But before we get into that, Roger, did you have talk about your ghost tours? How it went?
Yeah, we had the last night actually, and my old buddy Friday night that's sitting there with his Alabama shirt. He came Friday night. And I think he may put a little insight on it
so
too.
You rode what is it? Wagon or something?
Yeah, the wagon ride.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm in charge of like inside the house. I set it up for that, the jump scares and things like that.
Yeah.
And I've got a guy, I'm kind of training because, like I said, I'm getting kind of old now, so somebody to kind of replace me doing that. And anyway, but it was now last night, Jeremy, you'd like this one. We had so many people, man. We had
really?
3 girls behind the body in black, and one of them would rise up and they were crying where we had a body laid out. And then the jump scare, we had the one that was in the rocker, I believe. Did we have 2 that night you were there?
Yeah, so here, let's paint the picture. Let's paint the picture on a Friday night. So we were, after we had done the hayride through the field, saw the Civil War living history and all that, we came onto the house. So Roger's talking about where they had set Sam Davis's body in the back room, in the back parlor. Was there somebody back there in that room?
No, but the next night it was.
Okay.
I didn't have all my actors that one
Okay,
night.
gotcha.
You just happened to come at night. It wasn't full force.
Right. Yeah. So
Careful, don't give it all away. For
No,
people that
we're
are
done.
going.
We're not done the next year. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So we go in after we. So was that? Quick question. Side note: was that an actual person lying there, or was that like a mannequin?
It was a mannequin. Looked real, didn't it?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was like, wow.
Even the girls that came in and were behind the table on that second night, they thought it was real. They pulled it back.
Yeah.
And they were kind of, like I said, no. But we did have the arm moving at one time when it was laying there and stuff. But
Yeah.
But when you came through that second room where the parents' room was,
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
lady
yeah.
jumped scared.
Yeah. So we went into the second room after the parlor room, and I actually clocked it. I was like, I looked over to the left side of the room. I was like, there's a shadow over there sitting in the rocking chair. So, nah, there's no way. There's no way there's somebody sitting over there about to scare us or anything. And in the middle of your spiel, they screamed bloody murder at us. Not one, two times. Someone was behind the bed.
Yeah, we had two of them jump up. You cannot see them, can you?
Right.
It's so dark in there.
Well, no. I clocked the person sitting in the rocking chair. I was like, that person's going to scare us. Yeah. I wasn't prepared for when they would do it, but it's like, they're going to scare us. And they did it in the middle of your speech, and that was pretty clever. And so I was listening to you, and then they, I was like, whoa. And then someone jumped in front of the bed. I was like, oh my gosh. And I'll just talk about the whole tour on Friday. So as we're driving through the house, look up the stairs. There's a figure up there. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm not going to acknowledge that. And then we keep walking to the foyer. There's a gentleman, one of your men screaming. And I actually texted you after that. I said, hey, Roger.
Oh, you didn't know? You thought it was the girl, the upstairs or something. Yeah, they were behind the landing there. We had them kind of hid there.
Yeah, that would have been something else if you said, I didn't have somebody standing there.
Yeah, I should have got you.
Yeah.
I would have now. If y'all won, I would have done that. After Alabama won, I would have kind of gave a whole different story then. Yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
But, after that, we went into the final room where they had the casket and someone pantomiming somebody there mourning him. Mm-hmm. And then I clocked another person like standing in the far side of the room, and then they just like walk closely towards me. It's like, oh yeah, that's somebody there. Yeah. But yeah, no.
Did you like it all right though?
I did very much.
I hate to jump in, but I've got to ask. So where is this? What is
it's Sam Davis home in Smyrna.
Okay.
The old plantation there.
Sure.
I work there. I've been there 8 years. I do it 2 days a week.
Got it.
And I also do the when they have ghost tours or car shows, whatever other events, I will work or be there. But yeah, that's where it's at. But it ended last night.
Got it.
We've got some private ones you do that's just 15 people. They go in the cellar. They go everywhere. But that's sold out. It's 3 of them. One of them's Halloween night.
Oh really?
They sold out like once they go up, it's sold out just like that.
Wow.
Well, what's cool, Alex, with these guys is, I've never, for the record, I've never seen anything. I've never seen a ghost. I mean, I've had some weird things happen, but I've never seen anything. And no woman's called my name out, whispered my name.
How'd they do it, Mike?
Tell us the story about you, Roger.
I was, and I've had it verified. Okay, somebody. But anyway, I went in one day, and I heard my name called out. A woman called my name out.
How'd it say? How'd it go?
No, you did a commercial about it. Remember you ran that commercial for 6 months with that on there?
I created a video and I put
yeah. You know how I did, man.
I'm making notes. I'm making mental notes here.
But then a few months later, I heard it again, and so I just kind of like, I'm trying to debunk it. What's going on here? And the lady, a few months later on the other cruise, said, Roger, she didn't know that this happened. She said, Roger, the strangest thing, I was in the house, so I heard a lady calling your name out, and I go. So that kind of gave me a little confirmation. Then I did some research, and they wanted the other show. One of the other shows that wanted me to come do some ghost stories on their show, Rick and Wayne. And I did some research. I went through 30, 40 years to see what things that have happened, people reported. And one of them, these people that do these, go in with all these machines,
paranormal
paranormal people, they were in there years ago. And one of the things they said is they picked up a woman's voice in that house.
Wow.
So
Was she saying Roger?
I don't know about that.
Well, did you say a guy? A guy?
Oh, I
or-
did. That was in the museum up front, and I thought it was one of my coworkers in there, and I heard somebody, "Hey, Roger," and I go, "Ho, I'll be right with you." And I went over, I couldn't find him, and I went over in the office, and he was sitting down with our director. I said, "What'd you need, man?" He goes, "What are you talking about?" I go, "Did you just?" He said, "She said we've been here the whole time."
Yeah. What's cool, Jeremy? I know we've shared this story a few times, but share the story, Jeremy, of you working at the golf course right there at the back of Sam Davis' home.
Yeah,
It
so
connects to the Sam Davis home where he works.
Yeah.
I can literally stand at the back of our burn pile where we burn like dead trees and whatnot, and I can see the barn.
Yeah.
I can see the back of the barn on the Sam Davis property. But anyway, there is a grave site on the golf course, hole number 11. If Mike's listeners, they've all heard this story, and so I imagine a lot of them have played a round or two at Smyrna. They've played on the back, and so they've driven by this grave site. It's contained in a square, wrought iron fence in between two of these trees, and it's the grave of Mr. Wiley Sanders and his two wives. And so,
Where does it date back to, Jeremy? Early 1800s? or
early to mid 1800s.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to take a picture of the dates on there. But one morning, this was a very unusually wet early summer morning. Probably
How long ago was this?
This was 2020.
Okay.
2020. Right almost in the middle of the pandemic. And so it was a very unusually wet morning. It was foggy. So probably like late spring rain before the whole heat sets in. But anyway, I go back there. My assignment that morning was to mow fairways. Mow fairways until lunchtime and then switch over to something else. But anyway, I'm back there mowing fairways. My partner said, I'll go start on hole 10. You go to hole 11. We'll leave Fargate. So I was like, okay, cool. Go over to hole number 11. I make one pass. Well, first I do what we call a cleanup lap. Go around the whole fairway once, make it easier. Anyway, do my whole cleanup lap. I make one pass going back down towards the hole. Come back, make my third pass official. The third pass going back down towards the green. And as I'm coming back, going up towards the green, and Mike's listeners, do y'all know how it dog legs curves, dog legs left towards the green, and you know how the grave site sits right in that dog leg. Well, anyway, as I'm coming up towards it, I see a figure. I can't tell if it's a person, but it's just a shape, human-esque shape. And so I'm thinking, there's nobody supposed to be back here at 5:50 in the morning. It's only supposed to be me and my partner back here. And so I was like, well, I guess I got to tell this person they got to go. And this form is standing right outside that wrought iron fence. I can't tell if it was just looking into the gravesite or if it was like watching me, but I was like, okay, well, I guess I need to go tell this person they need to leave. They're trespassing pretty much. So I throttle down my mower, bring my reels up, I step off my mower, and the figure's gone. The figure's gone. Just no trace, no footprints in the dew. I don't see anybody running off that way, trying to get away. Nothing. Nope, nothing there. So I'm sitting there, standing in the middle of this fairway, going like,
well,
all right,
Alex. Well, this is where we're going to segue into your story.
Okay.
Which I think, man, you got the wildest story I've ever heard.
No, it can't be no crazier than we are.
It's crazier. It is crazier. It sounds like, I tell you, it sounds like something my late grandfather, who hung out in the pubs a lot, would have been talking. He was Scotch Irish.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So I
It
text,
does sound like a pub story
it
for
does.
sure.
I text you because I hadn't even met you. I just, hey man, I wrote this article. You want to come up on the radio with me? And then I said, we're going to try to tie it in paranormal or something. And text me. I thought you were joking at first, and then you're like, "No, man, I'm serious." Just tell the listeners what you said after I said, "Have you ever had any paranormal experiences or anything?"
So yeah, that's a perfect setup. You in the text, you said your theme for the month or for this period or whatever is paranormal activity, and asked me if I had any experiences. And man, I have talked about this for close to 48 years. I guess I was 7 or 8 years old, 6, 7, 8 years old. I lived for the first 10 years of my life. I lived next door to my grandparents. My grandfather had a perfectly flat, super beautifully manicured, almost acre backyard.
Yeah.
And he kept it perfect for me and the other guys in the neighborhood to play football, baseball, you name it. We did it all back there. It was by far the best backyard you could ever hope for.
Yeah.
He had planted pecan trees on both sides and in the rear of this acre. So, and he had his brick home, his I guess 2-story brick home toward the road, very very much closer to the road than where where we're talking about, where the yard is, and the trees. And so I spent so much time in that backyard. Just we would play literally from early in the morning till well after dark. He had bright lights. He would shine on it. Just he wanted us to have a cool, safe place to hang out.
Exactly.
And we did.
Yeah.
And it was great. And these pecan trees are massive. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 of them that created this almost like an arena.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And so he had this. They called it the carport. There was a carport, not a garage, but just a cover where you'd pull the car in, and then a little porch there toward the side of the house, and it was elevated as you look down over the backyard. And so when we would finish with the day, we'd go up there, and my grandmother or grandfather would always be out there having tea or just hanging out watching us or whatever. And so at dark, we'd go up there and sit, and my buddies would go whatever direction they're going to go. And sometimes my mom and or dad would be up there, and we'd just be hanging out. And just as vividly as I see all of you guys right now, I'm looking out over that acre of beautiful green grass and those pecan trees, and this 6, 7, 8-year-old me, I swear to God, I watched a little, 3-foot tall green leprechaun run from left to right between those pecan trees. And I turned to I think it was my grandmother, and said, I called her Phoebe. Yeah. Her name is Phoebe Cochran. I said, "Phoebe, did you see that?" And she looked at me. I mean, we had never had any conversations about marijuana at that point in my life. But she has probably assumed that I had been doing something illegal or wrong, which I had not. Yeah. But she said,
"Funny Leaf.
What are you talking about, Alex?" And I said, "I just saw a little green man run between those pecan trees." Yeah. And I think she probably patted me on the shoulder. Yeah, okay. You know, like, "It's okay, son. You're gonna be okay." Yeah. But I was dead serious, just as serious as I am right now.
Really?
I mean,
so when you
my mind's eye, I don't know what the hell was going on.
But when you share that, you share that at Buster's Place. You ever talked about it to other...
I mean, I have told that story through the years. It's been a while since I've talked about it.
I mean, how do people react though?
They just assume I'm making stuff up, I guess.
Yeah.
And you guys probably do. Your listeners probably do.
I've never heard anybody tell me that.
So serious about what I saw. I mean, again, I can see it right now, sitting in that carport where I spent more hours than probably anywhere else in the first 10 years of my life, looking over that dark acre of property and watching that little green leprechaun run from left to right.
Has anybody else ever witnessed it or had a story like that?
No.
Nobody has.
No, there's no dialogue whatsoever about a leprechaun running around Hueytown, Alabama, to my knowledge. Never. But in about 1978 or so, it damn well happened, I'm telling you.
Wow, that's wild.
Wait a minute, hold on.
You're the first one to ever say that.
Hold on. Let's... There was like this urban legend way back in like the mid-2000s about, I think this was in either Huntsville or Montgomery, about a leprechaun.
Mobile.
Oh, okay. It was Mobile, Alabama. Yeah, I remember hearing about that story.
Let me tell you. So this morning, yesterday morning, Saturday morning, my great friend Keith Irvin, who was in Tuscaloosa getting ready for the Alabama UT game, he and I were talking. We hadn't talked in a few weeks. I told him about this event. And I told him that, yeah, man, this guy Mike, who I hadn't even met yet, asked me something about paranormal activity. I told him about seeing a leprechaun when I was 7 or 8 years old. And my buddy Keith's like, man, what are you talking about? About 10 minutes later, he sent me a text explaining the story, the news story that you're talking about, Jeremy, of this entire town in Mobile, way back when, there was apparently a leprechaun running around Mobile through the trees or what have you.
Yeah.
And they
Oh, yeah.
there's documented footage of the people talking about it. There was even a drawing
I've seen
of
it.
what someone saw, which looks like a third grader did it. But,
I'm trying to find that.
Yeah,
so I told my buddy Keith, I said, that's very similar to mine, but mine was green.
well, hey, y'all, we've all had our stories. Now, Mike, it's your turn. I know you
I've
got a
never had
Monkey
one.
Woman Bridge story. Hey.
Oh yeah.
He's seen Bigfoot.
Well, no, the Monkey Woman Bridge. And this is some neat history. If you go to Cannonsboro over here, other day I carried my grandbabies over, and my wife and I, and went up there, and it's closed on Mondays, but it's still worth the walk.
Oh,
And
yeah.
My little grandbaby Grace, she's 2.5, and of all places, she wanted to go over to the ditch where they're doing construction work. 'Cause it's pretty neat if you hadn't been through there. I guess years ago they covered up the drainage.
They ran it through drainage, the little stream, the little creek there. And I think
Yeah.
they're going to open that back
So
up.
it was really neat, and I got a couple pictures, and she was really enthralled with the whole thing. But the old bridge there came from off of a 1 mile lane.
It was the oldest bridge. It came off of Stewart's Creek. In fact, it's the oldest bridge from Rutherford County. That was the first steel bridge.
And it's a small bridge. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, now when you go in there,
It
you go
doesn't look
parking.
like it would go that far. No, I never went over there.
Oh,
It didn't.
what did your wife? You took on there and you
that's
scared the
a
heck out of
different
her?
time.
Okay.
No, she says that.
That's
but
a
I don't
different
remember.
story. Okay. Oh, don't remember. So, okay. Maybe she's
She
listening.
claims I put her out the car and told the story and drove off. I don't think I've done that.
I've always heard that there's the truth is somewhere in the middle.
I will tell this one story. It's not scary or anything. It was scary for me. I used to have an El Camino back in the day because they were cool and a mullet, and it was a cool El Camino. It was Champagne SS and I had the 50s on the back, and so we were going to go roll somebody's house. It may have been Ricky Potts or somebody, and my friend Mark Carpenter and we stood at the back of the El Camino over the top, and it was around getting close to Halloween. And my wife was driving, and I don't know what happened. I think I said stop, and man, she slammed the brakes, and we went dead over the roof and landed on the asphalt. And my buddy Mark Carpenter, he like tried to use me as a pillow, and I mean he landed on me. And I remember the air dam. I had these lights on the bottom of the front air dam, and I remember
KC lights.
Yeah, and just little stream of lights, and I remember laying on the asphalt, and I see that light. I'm like, oh my God, I thought I was gonna get run over, but we just dove over it. But no, I don't remember. I mean, she has that account. I don't remember that,
But you talking about that? Not getting off the subject. I know a guy that he was asleep in the back of a truck. The guy left, friend of his, and he was asleep, and he got up to relieve himself and blowed out. The guy never did know he blowed out there, and somebody had to take him to the ER.
Oh, God.
Yeah, the guy never did know, that he raised up. He thought he was asleep back there. He got up. He didn't know he was driving. You know what I'm saying? He got up. Boom! Blew him right
he
out.
fell out of the
Wow.
truck.
Blew him right out of the truck. Yeah.
That's wild.
That's an actual rude awakening.
That's wild.
They were probably, you know what I'm saying, everything else.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No,
but,
it wasn't this. It was.
yeah,
It was
well,
that.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
for
yeah.
y'all. That was
Y'all.
y'all's age group.
Trying different things, smoking funny things.
But I had Edith Moore. I was hoping she'd call in. I talked to her earlier. She's the one that we're trying to save the old property over there of hers by the battlefields, the old shack from the gravel pit. And so I had asked her about she grew up at the battlefield. So I asked her a couple of years ago. I said, "You ever had any strange experience over at Stonesboro Battlefield?" And she said, "Oh yeah." And I literally just talked to her. I don't know if maybe she'll call in. And she said that she would be walking home down Old Nashville Highway. And Old Nashville Highway is still a scary looking place at night. If you think there's no lights and
Oh, Nashville?
yeah, there by the battlefield going towards Smyrna. And she said she'd see this headless woman, is what she swears.
Oh, wow.
Sitting by that Methodist church right there. There's a little rock wall, rock wall. It says that she'd take off running scared. And she said her aunt would often see it too. And she said that the story, the legend behind this was that it was a slave girl that was, I guess the owner or something had something going on with her, and then the mistress, the wife had her killed, and then something about the woman that had her killed, she ended up committing suicide just shortly after. But when Edith tells it, man, she's an eyewitness to it, and I don't think Edith's gonna, be blowing any smoke or anything. But she's her lineage is so cool. Her great grandfather helped bury a lot of the dead over there.
She's got the shovel, correct?
Yep, he was the son of a slave, and he hand built that old shack.
Yeah.
She wants to try to save it. It's going to be a real challenge.
It is. I know, but it is unique with the arch and how he did that.
He hand built that.
Yeah, and it is. But like you said, it's just so bad
but
shape.
like you said, she still has the shovels that he used.
Yeah.
Is that when they were founding the cemetery over there, when they were burying all the Union?
Called Cemetery Community.
Yeah.
But we plan on honor her here pretty soon, and we've got a proclamation. And she's real sweet lady. She's out of Memphis. Been going through some challenges with her daughter. I don't know if she's listening right now. Her daughter recently diagnosed with cancer, but had a lot of challenges. But that whole battlefield area. I mean, you think there was how many? 24,000 soldiers killed.
Something like that. Yeah.
And some of the graves at the Stones River battlefield are also from the Battle of Franklin.
Yeah.
So
Are they?
Yeah, both. Yes. And,
But not only that, they're also that National Cemetery. They were good. I did a stint over there as a student interpreter through MTSU's history department. It goes all the way to Vietnam.
Okay.
That's how many service members are buried. It's from the Civil War to Spanish American, First World War, World War II, Korea, and then ends at Vietnam.
So I got you.
So yeah.
Well,
Pretty special place, actually.
It is.
yeah. Have you got to visit the battlefield?
I have,
Tour some of that?
yeah.
Now, how long have you been here in Middle Tennessee then?
We moved here in 2001.
2001.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So, and then, how did you first get invited or stopped by Buster's place?
Yeah, so in the medical device world, that's where I spent almost 30 years prior to becoming a restaurateur. There's the picture. That's too funny. That's it.
Yeah, there it is.
That's it.
That's a drawing
An
of a
eyewitness's depiction of what they saw. Yeah,
That's very credible. That's a very credible witness.
Mine was green and much faster than that guy. So in 2001, we were living in Birmingham. We had been back in Birmingham, which is where we're from. We had lived in Memphis for a few years. We had a 1-year-old. My wife was pregnant. I had an opportunity for a pretty good job with a good company in that industry and in that segment of business. And but I'd always heard how tough it was and how hard things are. I told my wife, I said, maybe we can get a couple of years, make some money, and get back down to Birmingham, and we'll just see what happens. And again, that was 24, almost 25 years ago, and we've been here ever since, and our raised our daughters here. I have 2 daughters. They're 24 and 26. They both they went to school in Tuscaloosa, both of them. They both happened to get jobs in Atlanta, and they live together now in Atlanta. They work in different industries, but they're roommates. They're great girls. But to answer your question, I called on hospitals and surgery centers all over Middle Tennessee, the middle third of Tennessee, for, like I said, almost 20 years. And coming down to Murfreesboro, I would go to MTASC, Middle Tennessee Ambulatory Surgery Center, and the old hospital over on North Highland, I think is what it was, before they built the new one on Medical Center. And a good buddy of mine, Jerry Chester, who was the administrator of that surgery center, one day, and it was probably the spring, I had gotten to know him over the first 6 or 8 months, and he said, let's go get some lunch, AJ. I'm going to take you to get the best burger you've never had. And so I got in the car with him, and we drove down the street a bit and pulled into the parking lot at Buster's place. And I just candidly and realistically said, Jerry, is this safe? Is it safe here? And he laughed and said, shut up, man.
The biker bar looking kind of concept.
Get out of the car and get in. What do you think I'm going to do? Take you somewhere you're going to get your get beat up? And so so we went in, and he was right, man. We had the best burger I'd never had, and so I went back many times, and then my role in that company changed. I had a bigger geography and went some different places, so I went several years, and didn't go back to Buster's after having gone several years where I did. But I had a very good friend, a guy that I was in school with in Tuscaloosa. He and I were having lunch a couple of springs ago now, and he used to own several restaurants actually in the Middle Tennessee area, and his head chef for close to 15 years was Peter Moret. Peter Moret was his head. Again, he created his menu and they worked together for 15 years. And John Clay, my buddy, who I'm talking about, he and I had been very good friends for a long time. So much so that it's that thing where any friend of his is a good friend of mine, whether I know the guy or not.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of implied trust and association there that made what we were doing much easier. But we spent about 6 months talking through Peter and Kathy. They had done such a great job at the restaurant and created a very loyal following and tweaked the menu and added some things. And so after those 6 months of talking, it was September 3rd. That was the day after Labor Day of 2024. We closed on the deal, and so ownership transferred from Peter and Kathy, who had it for about 11 or 12 years, over to me. And that was, again, about 14 months ago now.
Okay. Awesome, man.
How do you spell leprechaun?
It's not easy. I use spell check.
I got you.
Leperchaun.
You ought to have your leprechaun special or something. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
Man, well, that's a good idea. Man, Roger's always got. Well, he used to be in a little bit of branding and all. Edith Moore is on the radio. Edith Moore, are you there?
I'm here.
Hey, I know you've had a lot going on. I kind of tried to tell the story, but I can't tell it like you tell it.
I've told you so many times.
Well, tell us about tell us a little bit about your your grandfather was born a son of a slave. Is that right?
Yes, he's first generation. His father was Sanders Malone in the 111th Colored Division of the Union Artillery Division.
Yes, and
and fought at the Battle of Stones River.
Yeah, and you still have the shovels, right?
I have, well, Papa was the head of the Benevolent Association that we had.
Yes.
And part of his duties was to keep the Evergreen Cemetery, which is over on the new highway, to keep it up and running and to get the graves together and all that kind of stuff. So, yes, I still have some of his shovels and a lot of his equipment, and I still have some of our old cast-iron cooking pots that used to be in the hearth of my uncle's house that my aunt used to cook in. I have a lot of stuff that is left over from that period.
Well, tell us about the Stones River, the account that you claim, what you've seen. Well, you probably had a few experiences out there growing up in the battlefield area, didn't you?
Well, not only I, but that area, as old people used to say, was very haunted because of the tragedy and the suffering of the war. Yes. And of that area, period, being, full of plantations, et cetera, and all of the atrocities that happened to the people that lived there. So we always kind of grew up around people telling us stories about stuff. But then again, like I told you, when I was a child, maybe 8, 9 years old, I had a horrific experience several times with the same apparition.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
That was the headless apparition, you mean?
That was the lady that was holding her head on her hand, and one hand always would be around her neck, okay, and the other hand was holding her head.
Wow.
And I've been trying to find out,
wow,
about it, but my great aunt had heard of that story herself growing up, and gave us some background that she heard was the reason why. But it's a stone fence that is between the Mentor's property and the Stones River Methodist Church.
Yes, and that's with Cemetery Schools at the back, right there at the back. That yeah. Well, was it you that was telling me that y'all would hear like girls laughing in the woods or something?
My brothers and other people said that was the Asbury Lane.
The Asbury Lane area.
Asbury Lane, and they used to call that the Haney-fied Lane.
What was it called? Haney?
Hainty, like a haint. Like a
haint. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did y'all growing up in that little cabin that y'all grew up in? How many lived there when you were a child?
Oh, over time in those 4 rooms with that little back room built onto it. At any given time, there was 10 of us in there.
10. Yeah, in that little place. But it's a cute little place. I mean, your grandfather did that concrete work himself, and
the arch
and
and
built
all that.
arch.
The arch is cool.
Built
It really
all that
is.
himself, didn't he?
He built all of that off of property, off of things that he found on the land. And I do have a video of it on YouTube if anybody's interested in looking at it.
What's the address of that?
Mel, M-E-L, Malone Historical Family Foundation.
Yes.
And that tells a little story about what Papa did. And also Mr. Dr. Smith.
Yep.
Okay. I got a video of him reenacting my grandfather's father, who was Sanders Malone.
Yes.
Okay. He was a slave that fought in the war coming out of Dothan, Alabama, and he has a whole story behind him of being hurt and put in prison at Mobile, and how he escaped in a hay wagon and made his way down to Nashville. And that's what got Dr. Smith, George Smith, interested in the Malone family and the Malone history.
Yes. If folks don't know who Dr. Smith was, correct me if I'm wrong, he was the first African-American to be allowed doctor privileges at the old Rutherford County Hospital, and he would do Civil War reenacting, and he also served on the Sam Davis board as well.
Right.
And just a great guy. We've lost a lot of good people. Frank Caperton. Frank's the one that introduced me to you.
I tell you, it all got started with they needed someone to tell the story that was a living historian back, I think, in 2015, 2016.
Yep.
And at that time, Frank was the president of the Rutherford County Historic Society, if I remember correctly. And he was talking to Elaine Washington about the Malone. And Elaine happened to give him my name and said, well, she's one of the grandkids that lives in that house.
Yeah.
So that's how I got it from.
Yes.
But the thing started with my sister Nancy.
Yes.
Now, about 30, 40 years ago, simply telling her doctor, who happened to be Dr. George Smith, our family history.
Well, which sister was it? I believe it was you that I talked to, and I said, what school bus did you ride? And she said, honey, I walked 8 miles to school. 4 miles there and 4 miles back. Was that your sister, or am I getting mixed up with Mary Watkins?
That may have been Mary Watkins, because we always have had a school in Cemetery. The first school.
That's right.
That for the newly freed enslaved people was built partially on my great grandfather's land, Sanders Malone.
Oh,
and
really?
And the name of that school was the Tennessee Manual Labor University.
Yes.
It was built in 1870.
Yes. Okay.
And it was while we were still living in the Cedars.
Yeah, a lot of history down there in that whole area right there. Well, Edith, we got to go to commercial break. we're planning on doing a little ceremony for you, and I think you're kind of helping coordinate it with Pastor Whedon at Ebenezer Church and my intern, Tiffany Parker, and historian Marty Luffman. So you're thinking it's going to be maybe the 1st of November?
Well, I've already left Dr. Whedon a message to tell him that Marty preferred the first Saturday.
Yep.
He had given us the 8th and the 15th. So as soon as I get a confirmation, if he can do it on the 1st, then I'll give you a call back. And then I want everybody in Rutherford County. One's history is everybody's history. We're all interconnected as far as history.
Amen. Yes, yes. Well, thank you, Edith, for what you do, and I appreciate because you got a lot of feistiness about you, a lot of spunk about you, and I appreciate it. I don't know how you do it down there in Memphis, girl.
Well, I've you know what I tell them down here, and you know I was.
Well, we got to keep it clean. We can't use no profanity on the radio now.
Oh, I can't.
No, you'll get. We have to bleep you out. No, say it clean. Say it clean. Go ahead.
They asked me if I would run for office again, and I said, I ran out of languages that I can tell y'all off in.
Yeah, really. No, I know. Bless your heart. I don't know how you do it down in Memphis. Anyways,
Was that clear enough? Hint, hint, wink, wink.
What's that? What was that?
I said, was that clean enough?
That was tame enough. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. Seriously, you know, Dr. Smith, we've lost so many good people. And Frank cared a lot about your property and the history out there. And John Lodell, there's so many people that do. Pettis Reed.
Middle Tennessee State University, which is my alma mater, has all been wonderful. And also, you can look up the reenactment of Dr. George Smith for Sanders Malone up under Sanders, like Colonel Sanders.
Yes, all right.
And you can see his reenactment telling the story of Sanders Malone.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Edith. I'll talk to you this week, okay?
Okay, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Let's take a quick commercial break. Right back.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Floyd, and I'm inviting you to join me at CR. That's Celebrate Recovery. We meet at Family Worship Center, 3045 Memorial Boulevard on Sunday at 6 p.m. We're a 12-step Christ-centered program that offers help for all the hurts, habits, and hang-ups that's causing you pain. The program works if you work it, and I'm proof. For other CR groups, go to CelebrateRecovery.com and click on the group finder. Hope to see you soon.
Josh Moss with Affordable Heating and Cooling provides residential HVAC and duct cleaning services to the Middle Tennessee area. With more than 20 years of experience, Josh Moss and the AHC team provide 24/7 service and take care to ensure whatever work you need done is done in a professional, timely manner. Contact AHC at 615-745-1676. That's 615-745-1676. Or go to their website at affordableheatingandcoolingtn.com.
Most people know that their insurance can provide them with coverage for the many life's mishaps. But I can help you also unlock discounts, save money, and get benefits with Farmers Insurance Policy Perks. Whether we're discussing home or auto insurance, I am here to help you understand these great perks. Call me, Mark Lewis, at 615-625-7070 for a quote, and you can get a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks.
We are Farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available select Farmers branded policies underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
Want a flawless look without the wait? Step into the Vanity Zone in Smyrna, where upscale style meets everyday convenience. Specializing in precision cuts, color services, waxing, and more for men, women, and kids. All delivered by a highly trained stylist with an eye for detail. And don't miss the signature hot towel refresher, the perfect finishing touch that leaves you feeling clean, relaxed, and ready for anything. Walk in or book now the Vanity Zone in Smyrna. Looking your best is always in style.
Is your car running like a dream, or does it need a little TLC? At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we treat your vehicle like it's one of our own. Let's hear what some customers have to say about Dr. Automotive.
Been coming to them ever since he opened up. Good family. I recommend other people to get them repaired here because I knew they would do it and do it right. Been happy to send people to him because I trust what he does so much.
We're crazy about him. It's all about the doctor.
For quality care you can trust, visit Dr. Automotive in Smyrna. We've got the cure for your car.
Hi, Hi, this is Allie Dowenhauer with Isaiah 117 House. Isaiah 117 House provides physical and emotional support for children awaiting foster care placement here in Rutherford County. We are changing the way foster care begins, and those kiddos are brought to our house to hang out and wait for a foster family, and they're given everything they need. We support foster children, DCS, and foster families here in Rutherford County. Visit us at www.isaiah117house.com or visit our Facebook page, Isaiah 117 House, Rutherford County.
My wife and I enjoy going by Yard Sale Inc. We usually go to both locations, the one in Smyrna as well as the one in Murfreesboro. A lot of times on Saturday mornings we stop by, and their inventory changes weekly, so you never know what you're going to see, and it's mostly open box. The name fits it. It's exactly that. It's a yard sale. If you don't totally agree with the price, the staff is always friendly and nice and willing to work with you.
That's the Yard Sale Store in Smyrna at 111 Enon Springs Road West, in Murfreesboro at 204 South Front Street, and online at bestdealintown.com.
Hey, we're back talking Buster's Place with owner Alex Jordan, and you go by AJ.
Either way.
Right, AJ.
That's not what my wife calls me, but yeah.
What does she call you?
It's neither.
She don't call you Roger.
I don't know if it's fit. I don't know if it's fit
Roger.
for public radio.
You know, no, your wife seems like sweet lady.
She is. She's
yeah.
great.
I took some of the banana pudding when I left out of there the other day. You know,
Nana's banana
pudding. The crime has been solved. That,
like,
was it about 2 gallons missing?
You know, grab a little water.
That pudding is good. I'm telling you.
Did you get to meet my friend Alec Douglas Berger? That's with Trans World Business Advisors. He was there.
Yes.
Yeah, he was on with us a couple weeks ago. Yeah, kind of give him a little shout out. But one person I do want to shout out is Mechanics on a Mission that just helped one of our friends, Suzanne Schmidt. They gave her a car. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Mechanics on a Mission.
I saw that. I watched it.
Brian Sweat was on the radio with us, and Ryan Adams with Tire World, and Nelson Mazda, Tony Campbell, Daryl Cantrell's Concrete was there. And the reason I talk about the good, I don't know if you're a believer or not. Are you a believer?
Oh,
if you're from Alabama,
absolutely.
you got to be. And
I was wearing a 3-piece suit and a tie at the church when I was 5 years old. You better believe it.
Good for you. Well,
you went to one of those churches.
Her van her van kept breaking down. Sadly, her son got killed in a car wreck when he was 17. I had to be the one to call her. He was my son's best friend, and my son happened to be at home asleep. The one night he was behaving, put it that way. He was sound asleep. Okay, this is years ago, and they called me. The calls you don't want to get. Say, hey, there's been a bad car wreck. We think your son's in the car. You know, so went back there and he was sound asleep. So I had to get to the ER. My wife had called the mom, so I had to call her, and say, hey, your son's in the ER. I just thought he was hurt. Then they went to the ER, and my wife come walking out with her. Man, she turned like a pale ash. You know, just. Anyway, my wife looked at me and just shook her head. And I remember seeing all the teenagers pull up, seeing the father get the news. He just collapsed. And I remember just seeing out there, and I was a brand new. I think I was a county commissioner at the time, and I remember thinking, Lord, why am I witnessing all this? Why am I seeing all this chaos? Why am I seeing all this brokenness? And because what do you tell a man who loses his son? You know, so her van keeps breaking down, and I've been giving a ride from Laverne to Una up there every day, and man, it is like.
War zone.
It is, man. It is so terrible, and you know I'm seeing people just blatant disregard for the rule of law, driving in the third lane. Someone doing donuts today. I seen a guy on a dirt bike yesterday, just driving the road like just nonchalantly. I think he did have a helmet on though. You just see the craziness, and I'm witnessing this stuff. That's what gave me the idea to write Elon Musk and the Boring Company. Like, man, we need a tunnel from Nashville to Murfreesboro, Smyrna, and I had some cool things happen. So Mechanics on a Mission, Tony Campbell said, won't you call them? It didn't even dawn on me to call them, even though they were on the radio with me last year. So we got with them, and some folks all pulled together and presented her a nice car.
Yeah.
And
cool.
her van, we had it worked on twice. It broke down twice, and on the way to school for her, and she's a school nurse up there. And so it was really a touching event, but if it wasn't for me giving her that ride to Una, I wouldn't see the chaos that's going on. We've had 2 people murdered on I-24. This is how bad this stuff's getting. And that's what made me think, man, we got to do something better, because in 5 to 10 years, it's going to be chaos, man. So I wrote the letter. So Mr. John Bridges, he sees it. He says, Mike, he's an author of Three 3 cousins from Mechanicsville. So he calls and wants to meet with me. So the day he called, Mike, will you give me a ride to the Rutherford County Historical Society? And I want to go by the old DeWitt Smith Job home, which sadly they just tore down, Rocky Fork Road near Morton Road. DeWitt Smith Job was captured by the Yankees and tortured to death. His story never was really told, but John Moore, who's 93, who's distant relatives with him, they all got to reunite at the Rutherford County Historical Society yesterday. And it was really neat. These guys went to school together. They were classmates. So we stopped by the Marker over by the old Chevy dealership, DeWitt Smith Job. But here's what's interesting. I asked Mr. Bridges, I said, because he grew up here in Murfreesboro, I said, how'd you get interested in this story? And he said, well, I'd often ride my bicycle over at Stones River Battlefield. I'd ride my bicycle when I was a kid. Remember, this guy's 92, retired executive from Aladdin and also former engineer there. And he said, I noticed there was never Confederate graves over there. You know, I was always kind of curious, and I took an interest in history. But he said his dad's name, his own father's name is DeWitt Smith Bridges.
Yeah.
And he wrote a book about DeWitt Smith Job. I said, man, there's got to be a connection. He said, no, I couldn't figure it out. I said, man, there's got to be a connection there, man. So great event, done some video with him. Sadly, they just tore down the house over by Tucker Cemetery. If folks want to see what's left, just end of Morton Road, turn right, Rocky Fork Road, you'll see Tucker Cemetery. But he's buried up there on that hill.
Yeah.
And there's really no access to get to it. So a few of us are going to try to work on make sure there's access. But, you know, we see all this development and tearing down everything. Yeah. And but anyways, shout out to John Bridges.
But you know, something interesting why it was called Mechanicsville. I thought that was an interesting. You know, well, you would think as a mechanic, like working on cars, but they didn't have that back then. It was like your guys that made coffins and things like that. They called them mechanics back then.
Yeah,
and that's got. And you brought it up, or he did about naming some streets maybe in the neighborhood or calling one in the neighborhood. That was a good idea. Keep it alive, and people one day wonder. How'd that street get its name?
Why is his name DeWitt Smith Job?
Yeah,
why
is this
name
street?
D. Smith?
Or something like that.
But what's interesting about this book, and I'm going to bring some over to the Rutherford County Historical Society. He's not interested in making no money. This guy's got plenty of money. He's got probably $250,000 worth of classic cars, old military Jeep, wind up. He said he drove it to the day. He's 92 years old. He said fired up first time he hit the ignition. But he's willing to give the books away. And but D. Smith was the cousin of DeWitt Smith Job, who, when he found out how brutally the Yankees tortured his cousin, who was close to him,
went a little crazy, didn't he?
He went off on a rampage. I mean, there's like a movie, but the political correctness is so terrible today. Yeah. I mean, people will twist things around on you. Like, they will take something I'm saying on the radio and twist it around on me. But they've already done that in the past, so I ain't worried about it. But there really is a movie. He went on a rampage. I think estimated, was it 30 to 50 Union soldiers he killed?
I think in the 40s or something. Yeah, he got them all. You know, like he just anybody. Wasn't nobody in particular. Just anybody he come across that was Union soldier.
Yeah, man.
But they did capture him.
Yeah, I guess I wonder where they hung him at.
If he even done that, they could.
He said he's buried in what, Evergreen? D. Smith buried Evergreen.
I think he did say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it is.
Down the road.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah. And who is the higher ranking officer that is in the book too? He said his father's buried up there on the hill back on Rocky Fork Road.
That I didn't catch.
I'm gonna try to get him up here.
I was listening to your story. You know, I caught the most of it when y'all were doing it live.
Yeah.
And but it was it was cool, man.
Yeah. Well, what John did, you know, because when I wrote this letter to Elon Musk, I even laughed about it. I was like, this is so crazy. But what was cool, I was talking about, if people don't believe this is a public safety issue, remember I'm at Una Car Wash up there in front of the school and just dropped her off. And I said, if you don't believe it's public safety, you get a reporter drive up down there. 5 days later, a female cop got beat up at the car wash I was at. They got beat up. Some bystanders jumped in to help her. But Nashville's getting out of control, man.
So we've been here for 25 years. And 25 years ago, Nashville was growing. It's been growing for a long time. And I would tell my friends around the country about the growth that we're experiencing, traffic, obviously, et cetera, et cetera. But people would say, how's the crime? I'd say, man, there's none. It's great. It's everything's awesome. It's so good. Well, as any city grows, some riffraffs want to come with
It is, yeah. Well, thank you, Alex, Jordan,
been great
over at
being
Buster's. I'm going to come see you this week, okay?
We'd love to have all of you.
All right, folks. Catch up with you next week. Thank
Sure.
you.
That's it.